Hello everyone, welcome back to another X and Y battle. The team's growing, we're getting there, slowly but surely. I've added a new member, which is Klefki, who you see at the front. Really cool poke, and I'm very excited to try it out in the future. I'm playing Joey today, PokeaimMD, very good player, and he's brought a rain team against me, so I'm feeling a bit scared. Added to the fact that I have two in-game pokes on me, I have my Aegislash and my Charizard, which I don't feel are going to do particularly well, but especially Charizard against rain, but we'll see how it goes. Rain has been nerfed, all weather has been nerfed because only 5 turns maximum now, and it will run out, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to lead off with my Klefki as he gets up his rain with Politoed. I'm going to sub on the first turn just to scout what type of a Politoed he is, whether he's going to be running an offensive one with Scarf or Specs, or just a defensive standard build with Scald. And he does in fact go for the Scald, so that's what it looks like. He is running defensive. Bit of a waste of HP, but I did want to check and find out. So I'm definitely not going to want to stay in, because I can't really take too many hits. That thing doesn't have good stats. It's just used for the prankster mainly. Predict the Scald, go to Vaporeon, easy enough. And at this point, he actually thought I was going to scout with my Klefki for Toxic on his Politoed. So he predicted my switch to Klefki and therefore went for the Scald instead. He wasn't just being dumb. Joey doesn't do dumb moves generally, so he is going to get hit by my Toxic and is going to be forced to switch out because I can protect stall on him and all that good stuff. So I'm actually going to end up switching out of my own terms, going into my Trevenant on the Politoed, thinking maybe we can stall a bit, but we get the double switch where I am facing down his Chestnut, ends up going for the Spiky Shield, which is in fact a protecting move. Lots of new protecting moves this gen with King Shield and Spiky Shield. Spiky Shield, essentially, if you hit it with a move while it's protecting, you take some damage, but because I used Will-O-Wisp, I'm not going to take any damage from that. He's going to switch out, go into his Politoed. I predict the switch nicely as I go for Leech Seed. Obviously, him knowing that I wanted to burn his Chestnut and his Politoed being poisoned, it would have been a nice switch in because I wouldn't have been affected by the Will-O-Wisp, but I do get off the Leech Seed, and now I am going to come into my own. Vaporeon has set up the Toxic, and I really like how these two are working together, how Trevenant and Vaporeon have this kind of nice synergy going on with them. They both have Protect, Vaporeon's running the Toxic, and they can both kind of protect stall with Leech Seed on Trevenant's part definitely helping out. I'm definitely not going to want to stay in to take an Ice Beam, so I'm going to switch back to Vaporeon. That's another thing that's nice. Obviously, Vaporeon being water covers Trevenant's weakness of Ice, and I can just sit in here and protect again and get the Leech Seed back because it's still set up on the Politoed. Toxic is wearing him down. It is going to go down pretty soon, I'm hoping, and once that happens, it means that his weather will not be a problem anymore. Although it does kind of help my Vaporeon, giving me the boost from the Scald, the rain boost behind it, which is pretty nice, but all things do have to come to an end, all good things. He ends up going for the Ice Beam there, I guess maybe predicting me to switch back to Trevenant to try and juggle here and make him switch his moves up, but it's not going to be the case. Eventually, he is going to go down to the Toxic, and the Politoed is out of my way. So fantastic. Nice tag team effort from Vaporeon and Trevenant in the early game, which I am always glad to see. Now, it goes into his Chestnut. I feel like going back to my Trevenant would be a bit obvious, and that he may predict that with a double switch. So I decided to go into my Aegislash instead, knowing that I could probably take a grass move from that thing. And he actually ends up going to Mamoswine, which isn't the best situation for me, but I decide maybe I can take an Earthquake. I am in-game, but I should be able to in defensive form, and I end up actually going for the Iron Head, and he doesn't have a Sash. He's probably running a Life Orb, but all his Mamoswine managed to do is set up Stealth Rock, which is pretty important because my Charizard is in existence, and that thing's going to take 50% from switching, so it's definitely good that you got them up, but it kind of gives me a free kill, which is it's good. In-game Aegislash doing work, I tell you. Goes into Scizor now, and I end up Swords Dancing as he does also. I'm in a bit more of a precarious situation because as soon as he goes to try and hit me, I'm basically going to die because my defenses are so low. He ends up going to Mega Scizor and going for the Swords Dance again. Now, the reason he does this is because he predicted me to King Shield. Problem with that situation is that I am not a standard Aegislash. Of course, I've said I'm in-game, which means I'm running Swords Dance with Iron Head, Shadow Claw, and Shadow Sneak, allowing me, on his second Swords Dance, to go for the Shadow Claw, bring him down to the range, at which Shadow Sneak is going to take him out. And so in-game Aegislash, with the Life Orb that I slapped onto it, has managed to take out his Scizor because he he unfortunately just thought that I was running standard Aegislash and was mistaken in that fact. Now goes into Chestnut. I decided to Swords Dance on it because I was afraid of him going for the spiky shield and didn't want to take some damage, but he makes a nice play predicting that, goes for the Leech Seed on me, and then goes for the spiky shield as I go for the attack. So he's made the correct stuff, the correct moves there, put me into a little bit of an awkward position because well, not particularly terribly, because I can definitely hit him with this one, because Spiky Shield will work the same way as Protect does. You can't, well, you can try and double Protect, but there's a much lower chance of it happening. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, he's just going to Spiky Shield again, he's going to get the Leech Seed again, you know, I'm going to hurt myself with all this damage and Life Orb, and the fact that Spiky Shield, if I hit him with it up, is going to take me down also. So I decided to save my Aegislash for later, just because it can potentially be useful for a couple of his guys, I think. I can't remember what, but we'll get to that. I decided to go into my Trevenant instead because so far it's been proving to be a pretty effective counter to this guy. I can burn it with Will-O-Wisp. He does seem to be physical, as he shows me with a Seed Bomb, and he's basically, he can't touch me with Leech Seed because obviously I am a Grass type, and so I'm going to show my final move on this set, which is Phantom Force, which is another stalling tactic. It basically wastes a turn by hiding away and then popping out behind. The nice thing about Phantom Force is it also goes through Protect and Spiky Shield and all those protecting moves, which is really, really cool. And as you can see from the animation, it kind of like pops out behind the Pokemon, and it's funny because the Protect animation is shown in front, whereas it goes behind, which is cool. I do manage to take it out eventually after some stalling, but Azumarill comes in, and this thing is dangerous. This thing with a Choice Band and Play Rough, because it's now Fairy type. Play Rough is a physical Fairy move with, oh god, so much power. It takes me out with one hit with Trevenant. I go into my Klefki, which is able to tank a couple hits. I go for the T-Wave. I go for the sub first of all, which is a big misplay on my part, honestly. I knew that I was going to be broken, the sub was going to be broken, so I don't know why I went for it, because he is banded and Play Rough is really powerful despite me resisting it. There is some hacks going on, a miss from him with the Play Rough, and then a bit of power hacks because I did paralyze him, which basically allows me to get up all three of my layers of spikes and you know, hurt his Aegislash when it comes in because it's his final poke. Go into my Aegislash, which, as I thought earlier, would be really useful, and I decide, as my last-ditch effort with my last Life Orb remaining, to go for the Iron Head. Takes him down to the smidgenest of smidgens. He is still paralyzed. He is not in a particularly good position whatsoever. I can easily go into my Charizard, Mega Evolve into Charizard X, Mega Charizard X, and finish him off with my in-game Charizard. I tell you what, the in-game pokes pulling their weight now. Pulling a lot of the weight. Finish him off with the wing attack, and now all he has left is Aegislash. So the essential thing that I want to do is go for the Heat Wave, because if I go for the Flare Blitz, then my attack is going to drop. If I go for Heat Wave, I don't think that happens because it's a special attack. He basically is forced to Swords Dance here, because if he doesn't, then he won't be able to deal with my Vaporeon. He'll have to take a turn to Swords Dance on my Vaporeon, by which point I could have burnt him with Scald or anything. But I actually get the burn earlier with the Heat Wave, and essentially make it so that he literally cannot win at any cost at this point. And he does the exact same thing as Nick did in that battle. He is going to die to burn on the next turn and lose by burn, but instead decides to run, giving me the 2-0, I think, something like that. 3-0 actually, because Noivern was still around. I didn't even get to use, so I really wasn't expecting that. Man, I guess there was some hacks thrown around here and there, and stuff, and Joey over-predicting on my Aegislash and that kind of thing, but it was a really fun game. I enjoyed it a lot, so I hope you guys did as well. You can definitely go check out Joey. He's a really, really good player. Really good. If you want to actually learn stuff about the game and how to play it properly, go watch him, honestly. He knows what he's doing. I'm just kind of trying to do my best here, but I hope it's alright. I'll see you guys in the next X and Y video, whenever that may be. Until then, I hope you leave a like if you enjoyed. Joey's link in the description, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.